I'm Ricka from rickabrandon.com. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about situational interview questions. One of the biggest challenges that's faced by people who are interviewing is making sure the person isn't just talking a good game and you're not getting fooled in the interview. And frankly, there are some people that are excellent liars and they're going to fool you no matter how many tricks you know. But there's a number of ways that you can increase your chances of catching the lies and getting ahead of it. And one of those is situational interviews. This is a verbal way of getting an understanding of how they complex problem solve and how they would handle different situations. So, for example, let's say you're hiring a front desk person and they might have somebody walk up to the counter, they might have somebody calling on the phone, and they might have a coworker asking for help. So what you want to do is say, I'm going to just walk you through a hypothetical example of what might happen on a regular basis in our office. The phone is ringing, a customer walks in the front door, and a coworker asks them for help. And then I want you to tell me, how would you handle that situation? What would you do first? And you want them to answer. And it depends based on your company how you want it to be handled. For a lot of people, they're going to answer the phone and say, thank you for calling. May I put you on hold? Then they're going to address the person who just walked in. And last, they're going to address the coworker because the customer usually has priority over a coworker or a peer. Your company might be slightly different, but you want to think about those situations where there's a certain way you actually do want them to handle it. Even if you haven't articulated it before, chances are there's a certain order you want things done in. And here's a tip. If it's super obvious to you, don't assume it's going to be obvious to everyone else. This is one of those lessons I learned the hard way as an owner is I thought how I approached recruiting would be very obvious to everyone else. Not so. That was not true at all. And so I finally had to spell it out step by step, which actually became the framework of my Attract and Recruit course. But it was because people don't automatically know what you want them to do next and what's the next best choice for their actions. So sometimes we need to spell it out. And this is a great thing to put into your operations manual or your processes and procedures manual. So I want you to think about those for your situational interview questions. What are different situations that occur fairly regularly in this role that you want to get an idea of how they're going to handle it? Here's a hint. If you ask that question, what do you do if the phone's ringing, someone's walking in the door, and you have a coworker asking a question, and they say, well, I suppose I would talk to the person who walked in the door first. I'd let the phone go to voicemail. And, when I was done with the customer, I would help the peer. You probably know, okay, it shouldn't take you 10 seconds to come up with that answer. So I want you to kind of recognize that the answer is part of it, how long it takes them to answer, how they answer. It's all sort of melded in together to help you really get a feel for how they're going to approach those situations. If you happen to be in a high stress or fast-paced situation, I really encourage you to give them a chance to experience that situation live. So once you're really sure you're going to hire them, before you actually extend a job offer, have an appointment made for them to come and sit with the team for an hour or so they're very clear about what they're getting in for. And if you happen to have one of those positions that has a huge amount of attrition and people start and they quit in a week or two or less than 30 days, give them a chance to experience the chaos firsthand before you waste payroll dollars on them. I promise it will change everything. Many people will not accept your offers, but you won't have that pain in the neck of getting them all staffed up, doing all the paperwork, and then they don't show up on the 6th day. So I encourage you to really kind of incorporate situational interview questions because it helps you understand how they're going to process and handle it, but it also gives the candidate a really solid understanding of what they're getting into. And we want them to know because if it's not for them and they're going to quit in less than 90 days, it's better to not hire them at all to start with. So I hope this helps. Situational interview questions are a great and powerful tool for you to use. So I encourage you to try it out, test it out on your next interview and see how it works.